Welcome back and good morning, Sri Lanka. It's the 15th of April and we have with us three amazing individuals, and all three of them have one thing in common. They were all a part of an amazing movie. I had the opportunity to watch the movie a couple of days ago, and it's one of those movies which you can watch with anybody in your family. It has an amazing message. It has a lot of historic value attached to it if you're Sri Lankan, if you're a Buddhist, but nevertheless an amazing theatrical achievement as well. I'm talking about Sri Siddhartha Gautama, which is currently in the theaters, which you can walk in and watch. And with us today is a cast member, we have a co-producer, and also to get a view of what the audience thought of the movie, we have with us an individual. She's a young individual who will talk about her experience of watching this amazing movie. First and foremost, let's talk to Anjani Pereira. She was a member of the cast for Sri Siddhartha Gautama. Welcome, Anjani, and good morning to you. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Sachin. Good to be here. Anjani,
now let's talk about the movie, as to how you got involved in the movie, as to what your experiences were, and so on and so forth. Let's start and take baby steps. How did you get involved with Sri Siddhartha Gautama?
It was actually when I was in Los Angeles, and our co-producer was there at the time, and I had submitted my photos and resume through him to Naveen Gunaratna, who was in Sri Lanka. And after Naveen had seen my images and my resume, and I did have experience and the training that we needed for an epic motion picture like this, right, he was definitely interested in.
Before we go on, let's introduce the other two individuals as well. Jeff Gunawardana, he's a co-producer of this wonderful movie, and we have Viranya Divitotuvela as well. She was an audience member. You watched the movie, and we'll talk to her later on. Jeff, how did you get involved in the movie?
Well, at that time, I was the Consul General, Sri Lankan Consul General to Los Angeles.
Right.
Mr. Naveen Gunaratna called me and told me, Jeff, I want to do an epic Siddhartha Gautama the movie. Then I said, well, I'll be very interested to work with you. And then few months later, the Honorable Speaker spoke to me and told me to get involved on this particular movie. And I decided to come back to Sri Lanka and saw the opportunity. I saw something unbelievable when I met Naveen.
Right.
He told me the whole story. Chandram Ratnam and Saman Veeraman was there. I said, I am in.
Right, we were talking about, you mentioned two names, and those names have to be mentioned. Saman Veeraman is the director of this wonderful movie. He was the one behind the scenes making sure that all of this happened, directing the cast. And then Chandran Ratnam was a special advisor as well. These are two individuals whose names are very famous when it comes to the Sri Lankan film industry, and they are behind this epic movie, Sri Siddhartha Gautama. Anjani, we were talking to you. You said you have quite the portfolio. We were talking about your portfolio in acting, and it has to be mentioned that Anjani is the first Sri Lankan female to be signed by a major company in the United States when it comes to Hollywood, right? You want to talk about your experience in Hollywood as well?
Yeah, well, Hollywood is definitely a cutthroat industry. Right. It's very much black and white, and if you show an ounce of unprofessionalism, you're out the door.
Right.
So it's a really good thing that I can actually say that I'm represented by a top-notch agency back home, because it was a huge challenge for me. It's called Abrams Artist Agency, and they're very picky as to who they sign with them, and I was amongst thousands, and I got selected, and it was one of the greatest accomplishments for me.
And it's a proud moment as well to have a Sri Lankan homegrown talent to be in the United States, to make it in the big realm of Hollywood, as they say. And it's the fact remains that if you don't have a proper agent, you really can't make it in Hollywood. Is that true?
It's very true, and there are a lot of illegitimate so-called agencies that say that they're agencies, and those you really have to be careful for. It's all just scandals to get your money and other things.
Right, so you were thousands of miles away. You got involved in this special project, Sri Siddhartha Gautama. What was the experience like? The role itself, was it a challenging role? Was it the first time that you have been here in Sri Lanka after a long time?
It was 6 years since I came to Sri Lanka, and when I flew into this paradise, I never thought in a million years that I was going to get selected to play the
Right.
heaviest, most challenging female role in this film. I just wanted to be a part of it because it was to send a message to the world about loving kindness, and I wanted to do it for Sri Lanka as well. I felt that I needed to give back to the community and to the motherland of my Ammi and Thati.
Right.
I really wanted to just give back and do something.
Right, Jeff, we're talking about the cast, and Anjani obviously was a part of a stellar cast. There were lots of individuals who are extremely talented, famous in Sri Lanka, who are a part of this cast as well. What went into the making and selection of the cast? How did you and Saman Veeraratnam, or rather Veeraman, make the cast come together to make this epic film?
Well, let me go back. When I was the Consul General,
Right,
I decided to put a billboard in Los Angeles airport.
right,
It was around about 60 feet long.
okay,
Okay, and but there was no budget from. I had to create the budget.
Okay.
So I went to some of my dear friends in Beverly Hills. I said I'd like to put a billboard in Los Angeles next to the airport, Century Boulevard. Can you help me on this?
it's the best marketing that you can ever get. It's the Los Angeles airport and it's Century Boulevard. And how big was the billboard?
It was 60 foot long.
60 feet.
Yeah, 60 feet.
Right,
Thank you. And what I did is I sent some information through via email. I need some superb Sri Lankan good face,
Right.
look like a Sri Lankan, not
Right.
look like a real American style, look like a Sri Lankan. So
Anjani,
I
I
got
think
round
he just
about,
complimented you.
yeah, and I got around about 8 pictures, and then I went to NBC. I
Right.
want them to make the decision because I put the pictures in the front of them. I said, please pick the best picture. Then they have, do you have a choice? I said, I don't want to make a choice. I want you to make this choice. Please do
Right.
that for me.
Right.
Because all these girls are very special for Sri Lanka
Okay.
and the people who's living here.
Right,
So Anjani was very lucky. They picked Anjani. We put the billboard out, and the billboard was there for 6 months.
and this billboard specifically was about Sri Siddhartha Gautama.
No, this
It
is
wasn't.
the billboard was. I'm sorry. It was called. Oh my God!
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka is paradise.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
and we had some
The Wonder of
Sigiriya
Asia.
picture, Wonder of Asia. Excuse me. We had some Sigiriya picture, and
Right.
also Dambulla and Kandy, and some beautiful beach pictures. We had around about 122,000 hits in first
Right.
2 months.
okay. Right, so basically with the movie, obviously there's a lot of attention given to Sri Lanka, and because of the fact that this film can actually reach borders or cross borders, it's not one of those films which can just be shown in Sri Lanka. What's the hidden message behind the movie? Is there a hidden message behind the movie apart from the fact that it's an epic movie?
Well, there was no hidden message, but the message is basic. It's a peace and harmony. It's the
Right.
message to the world. We all have to live together, peace
Right.
and harmony. Maybe we are different colors, different religions,
Right.
but let's live together, unity.
Right, right. And these are the general teachings of Lord Buddha as well.
Absolutely.
Right, Viranya, let's talk to you for a minute. You are a student, you are an audience member, you watched this movie, you were inspired by this movie. What did you like about this movie from a student's perspective? Now, these individuals obviously one was behind the scene, one was in front of the camera. You went and watched this, right? What did you feel? What did you have to say about the movie?
Well, I think, the big message here is like how Prince Siddhartha, how he like sacrificed his life for his wife and his son. He would just do it because he didn't want his wife and his son to grow old and get sick and die. He wanted them to be permanent because he loved them so much. I think that's why he did that, and for humanity as well. That's why.
Right, and that message is sent out loud in the movie. When the movie starts, one thing that captured me was the fact that there was a huge statement made that the film itself is a celebration or a gift to humanity. Do you believe it is?
Yes, it is.
Right, that's the message. It's Sri Siddhartha Gautama, and we have three individuals. One we just spoke to is Viranya. She watched the movie just like most of us did, because it's one of those movies where you can go with any number of people regardless of their age or regardless of how and what they like when it comes to movies. Anjani, what was the toughest day on set?
There were a few challenging days. The toughest, I will never forget the day that we shot Mahamaya's funeral scene.
Right.
Because we had weather issues, challenges, and that was also the day that I did have to shed the most amount of tears.
Right.
I didn't use any glycerin at all.
Right.
They were all natural tears, and I was able to deliver that emotion to the camera because I did connect to the character of Prajapati Gautami so much, I feel like, and it went on, it finished off smooth. I mean, everyone was very happy and very pleased with the performance that we were able to give with the weather challenges and being such a long day of shooting.
I do have to ask this question, and it was lingering in my mind for some time. You have a very thick American accent. How did you get rid of the accent when it comes to the movie?
I give so much credit for our dubbing artists here in Sri Lanka. I never thought that we had such great dubbing artists who can actually match the voice with the lip movements.
Right.
They were excellent. It was very much precise, and there were 6 major dubbing artists that did put in a lot of their talent in this film, because 6 of us did come from abroad to be a part of this picture.
So we're talking about the talent that was encompassed into making this movie. Anjani was one of them. And let's talk about Sri Lanka as well, right? Jeff, this movie was shot in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
It had amazing cinematography, it had amazing scenes, it looked beautiful, it was wonderful to look, and this was all shot in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
So all the locations, even the castles were built, the sets were built in Sri Lanka?
In Sri Lanka, yes.
And by Sri Lankans?
By Sri Lankans.
So you've been abroad most of your life. You've been a consular general in the United States. Getting involved with the movie, did your perspective change about Sri Lanka and the talent that Sri Lanka has to offer? Because we was talking to Anjani, she mentioned the fact that she didn't expect there to be dubbing artists who can do an amazing job, and the fact that there are dubbing artists who can match lip movement to the extent that was done in Sri Siddhartha Gautama was amazing. Did any perspective change happen during the course of this movie for you?
Well, I have to tell you, Naveen Gunaratne did the best he can, and he really put his time to make this movie epic, and also the art director, and I really have to give credit to Mr. Chandran Ratnam.
Right.
I mean, he was one of the greatest directors I had ever seen in my lifetime. And also Saman Veeraman, but the Chandran was there from morning to evening, and sometime we spend around about 18 hours a day.
18 hours?
18 hours a day.
Just shooting?
Shooting. But the Chandran was there on the set and giving orders, telling the directors, telling the cameraman. I mean, I was very, very impressed how well Chandran Ratnam did. And also I had to give credit to Naveen, because he created this, he was the architect for this.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I mean, a great director is defined by the fact that you have something amazing which is more of a philosophy in your mind, and you have to bring it out. And I think in this instance, Saman Veeraman brought it out amazingly. It's a testament to the great work that he did as well. So kudos to him. Saman Veeraman is the director, and then Chandran Ratnam is the advisor for this movie. Question being, what was the greatest challenge in making the movie? If you can highlight one challenge out of the many that goes into making a movie. You were talking about the 18 hours that were put in. You were talking about the fact that you